All right, everyone, welcome to the MMAOB Daily Podcast, Sunday, February 4th, 2024. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, joined by co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel, here on a Sunday morning, Marcel, to recap UFC Vegas 85. We had some MMA back in our lives this week. Marcel, how's it going, man? I'm looking forward to doing the podcast with you, as always, my friend. So how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Looking forward to it as well. Was finally had some fights back on again. I honestly don't think was the best card, but we had some fun fights on it, So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there were some good finishes, and a couple of really good fights, too, I would say, as well. So, like, for Apex Fight Night card, it was just about, I would say, like your average Fight Night card. Maybe a little above average. I think there's some pretty good fights, actually, Marcel, to be honest with you. I think it was a pretty good card. So we're going to
Yeah.
recap the card. Yeah, like you said, it was like nothing amazing, but pretty good. All right, I say let's get into the recap here. Start off with the main event, work our way down. I should mention, man, I had a really good night of picks here, Marcel. I only got two wrong. Johnson and Radke. Radke was one I was really considering, too. Did you pick Johnson? I can't remember. You did, didn't you? Or
No, I picked Maxu.
yeah. Hey, Marcus, what's up? He's in the chat. He gives a card 7. Yeah, I think that's about right. So, like, your typical Apex card, maybe, a little above average, if anything. I think it was decent. I think it was a decent card. All right. Like I said, let's get into it. Start the main event here. Nassourdine Imavov defeats Dolidze by majority decision. So we'll talk about that in a second here, Marcel. So, yeah, I mean, the fight went exactly how I thought. Imavov winning on points, just way more volume. He landed literally three times the amount of strikes. 112 significant strikes at 34, so literally three times as many, or it actually even more than three times as many, but pretty much dominated the fight, had a knockdown. There was a point deduction, obviously, for a legal blow to the head of a down opponent, although that rule is going to change hopefully really soon, Marcel. You'll be able to do that again. But the scorecards were obviously interesting. You had Derek Cleary, 49-44, Salty Amato, 48-46, and then John McCarthy's son, Ron McCarthy, 47-47. Very, very controversial scorecard, but I'm not going to lie. I kind of had a feeling there was going to be one of these scorecards, a draw scorecard. That's why I tweeted after the fight. I was like, I think the scorecards will be interesting because of that point deduction, and also because you had a borderline 10-8 round in the first round. To me, it was a clear 10-8 round, actually. And the stats back that up, by the way, 51-8 in significant strikes plus a knockdown. That's a 10-8 round by Imavov. And I think the referee could have stopped that fight and could have saved this Marcel probably for an extra 20 minutes of not the best fight. It was an okay fight. It wasn't a bad fight, but not a great main event either. But yeah, Imavov gets the win by decision, which is exactly what I thought. Give me your thoughts on the fight, my friend.
Yeah, to be really honest, I really don't dig the middleweight division at all. And the UFC's making so many main events out of it.
And
I
this
don't
was
know
a
why.
really middleweight fight. Wouldn't you say this one was a
Yeah,
real middleweight fight?
yeah, and I don't know. I mean, next week we have another middleweight fight. They have probably, I think for UFC 300 we have another middleweight fight. For Vegas 90 we have a middleweight fight. I mean, why do they have all to be a main event? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I think Imavov fought really well. Again, he gassed like always, but the thing is, Dolidze gassed as well. So, I mean, they both were kind of gassing. And Dolidze is super tough, man. I mean, let's be honest, many guys would have been finished in the first round. Dolidze stayed active enough for Dean not to intervene, But I think many guys wouldn't have make it out of that first round. I think Imavov did great overall. I think he deservedly won. I gave him 4, maybe even 5 rounds. I don't think I
I
maybe
gave him
give
4
Dolitz
rounds.
one
I
round.
had 4 for him. I
Yeah.
think it was the
So I
second round,
mean,
right? I would say, yeah.
possible. I don't know exactly anymore, but I was sure Imavov won. But he was lucky, dude, because Dolidze could have took the easy way out and be like, "Fuck, I can't
Mm-hmm.
go any further. It's over," and then it would be either a DQ or no contest. I don't know what it was. I think there would have been a DQ because he took a point deduction. You know, so I don't know, but I mean. Deserve win for Imavov. What else can we say? And some fun things with Chris Curtis afterwards. Yeah,
Called him a quitter, apparently.
yeah.
Um, that would have been interesting, though, if two of the extreme guys had back-to-back no contests. I'm with
Mhm.
you. I think he's lucky. Dolidze is a warrior. I'll tell you this: Dolidze, man, in that first round too, Marcel, he could have easily turned up and taken a TKO loss easily.
Yeah.
I think most fighters do, to be honest with you, because it's just the easy way out. He's getting pummeled. That's a 10-8 round, in your opinion, right? First round?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
How did only one judge have a 10-8? That just blows my mind. I mean, look, again, the stats back it up, 51-8 and a knockdown. And you can't even be like, oh, well, they don't have access to the stats. I mean, your fucking eyes will tell you it was a 10-8 round if you're watching the fight, which I don't know if some of these guys do. Again, just because of the way MMA scoring works, you can get a draw here. If you don't give 10-8, then you have the 10-8 with the point deduction in the fourth round, and then you give somehow Dolidze 2 of the rounds. Yeah, I mean, again, it wasn't a great fight. Anyways, what's next for these guys? Dolidze, obviously, is going to lose his top 10 spot. Imavov moved up. Or maybe Dolidze will still be the top 10, but Imavov's going to take his spot is what I'm trying to say. So he'll be in the top 10. What's next for Nassourdine? What do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, man, and I think the fight that makes sense is the winner of Hermanson against Pfeiffer next week.
It could be. And you think the UFC might be a little bit down on his stock right now because it wasn't the best fight, you know? Dolidze for sure too. I would say that his stock went down a bit, Marcel.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, Dolidze. I know he wasn't the favorite. I know Imavov was the favorite. I picked Dolidze in this one. His stock is down for sure. But let's look at this, man. We also have in 2 weeks we have Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, right? And the loser of that one can fight maybe Imavov. You know, it depends on what the UFC thinks about Imavov right now. Do they think he can make that next step, or are they still on the fence with him? You know, I think they're still on the fence with him, but hey, we'll see. You know, I mean, he got the win, 5 rounds. He looked better than in his last 5 rounds, in my opinion, but still, he still has a problem with the gassing, man. I know he won the fight, but he still has that problem.
Yep, I agree completely. All right, let's get some comments. We got Chris in the chat. We'll talk about the Charles Johnson fight, which was a great fight. We got Imavov's 5-round cardio. Yeah, he got tired again. Yeah, again, he was active in this fight. He did throw a lot of volume, which is what I expected, but he got tired. Also, the control time too, Marcel. I'm looking at that. 10 minutes for Dolidze, 3.5 for Imavov. So another bit of an issue there as well. This is a second majority decision in the UFC, which is crazy, eh? You don't really see that often. And one, he lost the one to Phil Hosny, won this one. So, yeah, it's some weird scorecards in his fights. But he got the win. So, I mean, at the end of the day, he's moving up in the ranks, and Dolidze's the one moving down. Dolidze, again, tough dude. But, you know, Marcel, I kind of feel like he hit his ceiling when he beat Jack Hermanson. That was his best win of his career. He looks like that's going to be the high point of his career, probably, going down since then. He is a tough dude. He can go the distance and tough it out, but he's not elite, you know. I thought he might be because I thought he did beat Vettori, but you know, I just like the matchup for Imavov, so I picked him here. All right, get a couple more comments. Octar updates, what's up? Ray, what's up? Would you do the Curtis Imavov rematch? You could. I mean, that's another option. Curtis did win his last fight against Barrio, but I think Imavov is higher in the rankings. And to be honest with you, Marcel, we did see that fight. Imavov was going to win that fight, and I remember I picked Chris Curtis. I was like, oh god, I got lucky on this one because he was going to lose that fight. I mean, let's be honest. What's up, Jason? How's it going, man? He said, good morning to me, and then to you, Marcel, good evening. Yeah,
almost. It's 4:13. Yeah.
There you go. It's almost 4:20, Marcel. You got to pull out your space cake in a few minutes here. So, what's up, Craig? How's it going, brother? All right, let's get to the next fight here. Renato Moicano defeats Drew Dober by unanimous decision, 29-28. We both really liked Moicano in this fight. I think most people did. The odds kept going up in his favor, which makes sense. The stylistic matchup was a really good one for him because Dober's ground game was not amazing. I'll give Dober credit, though. He survived the 3 rounds, and he did a lot of damage in this fight, too, especially in that second round, right? Like, there was a lot of damage that was dished out by Dober, but, again, gets taken down in the third. Moicano rides it out. Moicano gets the decision. Great post-fight interview, calls out the MMA guru, which I thought was hilarious. You know, it's funny because I'm assuming they're just joking because they probably both are, you know, they're both YouTubers or whatever. Yeah. That's just going to help that guru guy's channel. He's going to get more views, more people talking about him. So it's not a bad thing he called him a pig. Like, it's actually not a bad thing. Like, I'll put my hand up, call me a pig too, Marcel. Like, I don't mind it at all because, like, shit, his subscriber count will go through the roof. But, yeah, Moicano gets the win here, and you know, he's won 4 of his last 5 fights. I like Moicano a lot, man. I think he's a good fighter, and I like his personality. So, what do you think of the fight?
Yeah, man, I feel like Dober started very well, and Moicano was after 1.5 minutes like, fucker, I'm not gonna stand with you anymore. We take you to the ground, you know, and he pretty much wrote it out there, you know. And I think the second round, I think Moicano started good as well, you know. But Dober got out, and then he threw Moicano to the octagon, to the mat, and and with that throw he opened Moicano's eyebrow. Because I think in the broadcast they said clash of heads or something. Wasn't a clash of heads, you know. I rewatched it like 3 times, and you saw it popping open the moment he landed on his head. Yeah, I mean, Moicano clearly won the third round in my opinion. So 1 and 3 were his. Second round, even the second round, man, could have been his. But the thing is, like, Dober inflicted more damage than he did, you know. So you got to give it to Dober. Also, I got to say this, man. Before when the event started, I said to you, I think I see Mike Bell as the judge next to the octagon, and I was right. Mike Bell was there. I'm happy he's back, man. He was also one of the judges in this fight, by the way. That's why
he's a great judge. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but he's a great judge, and he got it's just disgusting that he was used as like the scapegoat for MMA judging. That's just so bad because he had one bad scorecard, like in his whole career, basically the Shevchenko scorecard, which was a terrible scorecard, you know. And I don't blame them for like taking him off for a bit because it was that bad, but like he's been off since September, 4 months, 5 months, Marcel, a long time.
Yeah,
you know. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Please keep going though.
No, I'm happy you did because I fully agree. You know, and the whole MMA community went after him while this Sal D'Amato, Chris Lee, they're clearly fuckers. They make like these mistakes like every fucking event, you know, and they don't get any flack for it. But yeah, I mean, good win for Moicano. Post-fight interview, as expected, was funny. With his dad being like, he gave birth, and now I go back to my home to make another baby with my wife. What a guy, you know.
He posted a funny picture too on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it. It was like him and his dad, and what's it called? With Gary's wife, Ian Gary's wife.
Yeah.
He's a joker, man. He's got a great personality, though, right? Like I love him. So, what's next for Moicano? What do you think?
There are so many options, man. I think he called out Dariush for Brazil. Yeah, I mean, possible. He can fight Dan Hooker if Dan Hooker is ready to go. He can fight Jalen Turner, which was actually supposed to happen this month, but Jalen Turner took the Bobby Green fight, so that fight didn't came together. A lot of options, man, for Moicano in the division. He hasn't fought a lot of these guys because he actually came from featherweight, right? So he fought some featherweight top 15 guys, but in lightweight he hasn't fought too many guys yet. So yeah, I mean, he was originally booked like earlier last year against Arman Tsarukyan, actually a main event, right? So why not Dariush, man? I mean, it's possible, you know. And Dariush 0-2 in his last 2 fights, so we can do it.
Got some comments. I don't mind that Jalen Turner fight though. I kind of like that one. That's because they were supposed to fight anyways. What's up, Zach? He says finally someone else pointing out it was the headbutt. Which fight is he talking about?
Moicano against Dober.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Which Moicano showed more of his personality in his career. Yeah, I agree. And I thought he won rounds 1 and 3 too. The 47-47 scorecard is not great. Thoughts on Chris Curtis being angry? Chris Curtis, I think he said he's bipolar. Hasn't he said that? I'm pretty sure he's come out and said that. I gotta double check that. But
I remember Chris Curtis saying in James Lynch's interview he's a super petty guy. He says so.
Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I could have swore I've seen him write that on Twitter before. I might be wrong though. I know he's there's an article here, but let's see. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Chris Curtis, but like, I mean, the whole thing with deleting his Twitter and stuff is kind of odd and everything, you know, because he is a pro fighter. You shouldn't let that stuff get to him so much. Moicano fought extreme boring. He did, but he had to do what he had to do, man. I mean, you're not going to stand with Drew Dober when your eye is shut. I mean, it doesn't make sense to you, right?
Also, you got to take in mind that Moicano was out for more than a year, you know, and he's coming back. And the first 1.5 minutes, Dober was just better on the feet, you know. So he needs to have a win here. So has to take it smart, you know. And sometimes it's, it's maybe not the most fun to watch, but it's good to do. And I didn't think it was a boring fight or whatever. But
I thought it was a pretty good fight, personally.
Yeah,
I thought it was
it was
not a fight in the night, but a good fight. No. I thought they both fought hard, man. Moicano, Dariush, Who would you favor, Moicano or Dariush? That's an interesting fight because they both kind of chinny. They're both good grapplers. And they're both like, I think Dariush might be a little bit older, but not that much. He's like maybe 2 years older. I guess just because of like the momentum, I guess Moicano would be favorite, maybe, but I don't know. Dariush is pretty good too. I like the fight. I mean, I'm having a hard time even like just right now, like thinking who would be favored. So, who would you favor?
Moicano against Dariush. Man, I mean, Moicano's strongest thing is the ground, and that's Dariush's strongest thing as well, you know. So that's a difficult one, man. You would say, like, maybe with momentum, you would pick Moicano, but I mean, you cannot underestimate Dariush, you know what I mean? So
I like the fight. I think it's a good fight, guys. Moicano started showing his personality. Paul Costa started playing funny stuff. Oh, that's good. Yeah, they've both been in the UFC for 10 years. I remember I picked Moicano when he fought Tom Ninamaki in his debut. I'm pretty sure he was an underdog in that fight. And he's had a good career in the UFC so far. So, yeah, 10 years in the UFC. So, it's really good. All right. Randy Brown gets the bonus here. Marcel performance of the night. Knocks out Muslim Salikov first round. I mean, this is probably one of Randy Brown's best wins like ever in the UFC. And he's also been in the UFC a long time, 8 years now. And, I mean, it was a beautiful knockout. Really beautiful. 1-1-2, which is a great combo. When I used to train boxing and Muay Thai, they would teach us that combo in the boxing class, the 1-1-2. So it's kind of like a basic combo, but guys don't really use it. And the thing about Randy is he's able to, because he has a long reach, man. He pushes you back with that jab and then landed that right hand. Muslim knocked out. Muslim's lost 3 of his last 4. Muslim is also 40 years old this year. I think they'll probably give Muslim one more fight, Marcel, because he does have, let me check, 6-4 record in the UFC, but he's lost 3 or 4. He's definitely on the decline. With Randy Brown, though, I mean, I think he's just one of the more underrated middleweights. You know, he's won 6 of his last 7 fights. He's always in really good fights.
Welterweight.
Pardon?
Welterweight.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Sorry. I really like Randy Brown, man. I've always liked him. I think he's a good fighter. Looking at his record right now, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 5, I think he is in the UFC. I mean, it's a good record. You know, he's fighting good fighters, too. So he's a good fighter, man. I really like Randy Brown, and great performance by him. Any thoughts quickly?
Yeah, man, I think it was a good performance. I thought it was pretty. That knockout came out of nowhere, dude. It was like very even until then, and Brown knocked him out. I mean, good win for Brown. The thing is, like, I don't know, man. I think Brown is kind of the guy who is like, how do you say that, borderline top 15 guy?
He's a gatekeeper.
Yeah, he's pretty much there, you know. And I think it was a good win, good finish. Kerry Hatley was sleeping again because Randy Brown had to land an extra shot, which was absolutely unnecessary, but Hatley was too late, so no blame on Brown there. Yeah, good win for him, man. But what's next? I really wonder what's next, because I feel like he wins the fights I expect him to win, you know. But when he really gets a step up in competition, he doesn't, you know. For example, the Jack Della Maddalena one, he didn't show up in that fight, in my opinion, you know, because I expected Jack to win, but not like that, you know, that quick and that fast. Yeah, you can book him against Renato. You know, I like that.
Yeah, look at the rankings here. Renato's 15th. The other guy I was thinking was Neil Magny. I don't think they've fought before, right? Like,
no,
have they fought? No. That's a good fight, and they're both kind of similar. Like, they're both very long, tall guys for their division. I think that'd be a really good fight. So I think that would be the fight I was thinking.
I'd be good about that.
I think either of those guys makes sense. You like the Magny one too? Yeah, I think it makes sense because again, Brown's got like almost 20 fights down the UFC, man. He's been in the UFC for a minute now, and obviously Neil's got 40 fights or something. It's crazy how many or 30 something fights. But yeah, I mean it's a good fight. All right, a couple comments. Rob Vessel likes Dariush in that fight. What's up, Mike? You got Mike's MMA picks here. He likes Dariush and Moicano. I mean, it's a good fight. It makes sense. How do you guys feel about Salikov getting eye poke before the KO? Right. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Like, there was actually quite a few eye pokes on this card. I mean, we'll talk about the next one in a second here. We had a no contest, unfortunately. There's a lot of eye pokes on this card. And it did get me thinking, like, there's got to be a better way, man. I thought they did change the gloves. Didn't they change them last year? I thought they did. And it's not really helping. They got to get back those pride gloves where they have the curves down. You know, like Yeah, Brown looked good. The eye poke was bad for sure. Everything's on purpose. This one wasn't, but there was. I wouldn't say the other was on purpose either, but there was a nasty like thumb in the eye. Oh, it was the Pokes fight. We'll talk about that in a second. That was really bad. Go ahead, though, Marcel.
You know, and I said it earlier as well. You know, with these gloves, I mean, people would never have tried these UFC gloves. You know, those are like almost not stretchy. You know what I mean? You really have to fist to make a hard fist, to close that. If you do it in a relaxed way, they keep standing like that. And a lot of
You know
fighters
what?
do
I'll be
that.
right back. I got a pair in my house. One sec. Keep talking. I'll be right back. One
Yeah.
sec.
So a lot of if you look at these UFC gloves, if you put them on, your hands stand like this, and you really have to make a hard closed fist to close your fist. So if fighters are like measuring distance, it's weird to do it like this. You try to, you guys understand what I mean, So they should make it a little bit more like flexible. You know what I mean? They still here in this side, they have to get that more flexible, that fighters can make a closed fist, because now you're like, it's hard, man, to make a hard fist for like 5 minutes and 3 times 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what I meant. And Adam is still trying to get the glove on, I think.
I just pulled it out of my closet. So I went to I had a pair because I used to train, and I had a pair. But when I went to the Sportsnet studios a few months ago, they were giving them out. So I grabbed a pair of the UFC gloves. These are the official ones. These have like the Sportsnet brand. Wait, can you see it? Here we go.
Yeah.
But they're still like, let me see if
those are the officials with the Sportsnet thing on, yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can get my hand in them. These are pretty sweet. All right.
Yeah, you can see it's hard.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, it's hard to keep a close fist the whole damn time, because that's not stretchy.
You naturally want to kind of keep your hand out like this.
Exactly.
Like a little bit.
Yeah.
Now,
they have to change that.
They do feel like they're curving down a bit, but these are pretty small in my hand, to be honest. I don't know if these are the right size for me. I'd imagine those guys use, a bigger glove too. So, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's actually, I haven't put these on gloves on in a long time. I used to love strapping on the gloves when I train, though, man. It makes you kind of get in that mood to punch things. So yeah, Trevor Whitman did make a glove, but I don't think they could be wrong. Like I could have swore last year they made some changes to it, but I thought they took some consideration from what he did. Anyways, let's yeah, I agree with this too. All right, let's go to the next fight. Your girl Natalia Silva defeats Viviane Araujo decision. I mean, she got tested a little bit in this fight, Marcel. Viviane I thought did decently well here, but a good fight, and then Talia gets the decision win. So she's 4-0 now in the UFC, 5-0, 5-0. Yeah. She'll be fighting for the belt like probably next year, I would say. I think she's really good, and I know you love her too. I know you had the tissues up for this one too, so.
Oh, she's so
awesome.
She's so quick, man. She's so quick. With how she throws kicks and that. It's crazy actually. She got tested in the first round. Araujo was trying to hold her against the cage, trying to take her down. She didn't get it, but I mean, Araujo was in the how do you say that, in the dominant position. I think the last 10-15 seconds, she still got some good punches in and some good kicks in, but I mean, you can obviously give that around to Araujo with control for a long time. I think Natalia Silva did better in the second and third round. She had her distance going, and she pieced her up pretty much, So, yeah, man, good win for her. The thing is, like, if you look, everybody above her is booked, right? So she wants to fight in the Rio de Janeiro card on May 4th. The only possible booking there right now, if they want to book it quick, might be Tracy Cortez, man. Although Tracy Cortez is under her, but
I don't think that fight's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know they think so, but who else? If you look at the rankings right now, who else?
She's probably gonna have to wait for someone. She'll wait for like the loser of like if Caitlin Seminara, I guess her name is now. If she loses, if she loses to Macy, I think that fight would, because she's kind of a gatekeeper, right?
Yeah, possible.
The other one would be Andrade's a different division. To be honest, I don't know why Andrade's ranked in 2 weight classes. It's kind of odd.
Rebus as well, by the way. Yeah.
Rebus is fighting
Rose,
right? Is that 125? Is that
125?
Okay, so that fight would be good too. Like the winner of that, maybe they could do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense too. The thing is, like I said, I think she'll probably fight for the belt next year because you still have obviously Aaron, you have the rematch, and you have Firo all waiting for the next title shot, right? So, or I guess Aaron, the winner of Aaron versus Firo will probably get the next shot. But they're going to do the trilogy, right? Grasso and Shevchenko. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think that's clearly the plan. I mean, those two are the only ones who are not booked, So,
right?
yeah.
So, yeah, it makes sense. And then you do have Macy Barber, too. If she gets by Seminara, then it's so weird calling her that, by the way, because it's like I've called her Chukagi in her whole career. Hike.
And it sounds like carbonara, you know. So
a little bit, yeah. She's fighting for Marcel's belt. That's a good one. Wrestling could be the issue for Valentina. Dance, she's fast. She's very fast. So it was good, man. And that's actually in my preview for bookies. I talked about the speed being the biggest advantage for her, and that's what happened. All right, we had. I think it was the shortest no contest in UFC history. I think it was. I could be wrong, but I can't think of something shorter. Can you?
How quick was the Antonio
11
Carlos
seconds.
Jr.? Also,
which fight? Antonio Carlos Jr. Oh no, this one was 11 seconds
against Kevin Casey.
Yeah, I remember that one too. Kevin Casey. Let me take a look at that one. I'm not sure. Computer. All right, here we go. That was, I think, really fast. That was 11 seconds. Yeah, they're both tied. So I think it's probably tie. Fuck. I mean, what are you gonna say? It was a bad eye poke, dude. Really bad. He couldn't see. This isn't like one of the ones where a guy bitches out, wusses out, and takes a no contest. This is a legitimate no contest.
Yeah.
I think both guys knew that. Hopefully, his eye gets better quick. They can run it back soon. But I could also see them like just booking Khizriev for another fight quickly. I mean, this guy doesn't fight often. Finally, he actually showed up in amazing shape. Khizriev comes on the scale, looks great after 2 years away, and then the fight lasts 11 seconds. So I'm kind of hoping they just rebook it fast if they can. But if his eye is fucked, then which it might be, then
he already talked to Dana.
Quickly, go ahead. Sorry, what'd you say?
He already talked to Dana Khizriev, and he said Dana already is trying to give him a new fight. So
yeah, that's what I figured exactly. So, by the way, Dana was he even at the event. I saw him at some boxing card last night. Was he even at this card?
Later, I think he was there.
It's not a great look for the UFC president to be at another event. I'll say that.
I agree.
I understand Dana can, he's a rich guy. He doesn't give a shit about some of these prelim fights on the Apex card. I get that, but it is a bad look because if it's not worth his time, then why is it worth other people's time? You know what I mean, Marcel? Yeah, so I think it's a bad look. Yeah, it's a bad look. But anyways, whatever. He can do what he wants. So go to the next fight here. Charles Radke. Again, this was one I wasn't sure about, but all the money was coming in on Breeden and all the size advantages were in his favor. So went with him. But Radke, man, he does have a lot of power, man. Because I remember watching his CFFC fights and he knocked a couple guys out cold. And he did it here too. 2 knockdowns, knocks out Breeden in the first round. I know people don't like this dude. He should have got a bonus. I believe. I think he should have got the 50K. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think he should get the 50K as well. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, instead of Molly. I mean, I don't even want to talk about that, but that was a clear setup fight if I've ever seen one. I'm not too sure why you picked Puppies.
I switched. I told you. I switched.
That's a good switch. But no, Radke looked good. Any thoughts? I mean, he looked much improved, right, than the last fight, which Blood Diamond. Although looking back, Blood Diamond's a good striker, so. Maybe it wasn't as bad of a performance as we kind of were saying. I think it was just more like the post-fight interview and everything and all the bad blood with this dude. But he's not a bad fighter, man. And you know what? He is, he's 34 this year. It's his time to make a run if he's going to make one. So
yeah.
What do you think of this guy? You like him or what do you think of him?
He's okay, man. I didn't care about the post-fight interview because I'm not woke. So, yeah, I mean, let's see what's next. I think Urbina showed that he's actually not UFC caliber, to be really honest, man.
This kid's not that good, man. All 3 of the Urbina brothers, I think they must have one of the worst collective records you could think of in UFC. If 1 win combined, maybe 2 wins combined. It's not very good. But all right, Molly McCann gets the submission win over Deanna Belbitsa. I mean, listen, Deanna's getting cut. She's 2-5 in the UFC. I like Deanna. I think we all do, but she's not UFC caliber. This was a clear setup fight to get Molly back in the win column against an opponent, Marcel. She beat 30-25 last time. This was an easy pick, man. Honestly, it really was. I just don't I'm not saying Molly's back. I don't think she should have got a bonus. I don't think so. I know she got a submission. That was cool, but I don't know. I don't think beating Deanna Belbitsa is bonus worthy. I don't know. What do you think, man? I would have given it to Radke instead. I understand we just said Urbina's not that great, but the way he knocked him out was really nice. And even Temba Garimbo could have got 1 and 2 instead. I just don't like them giving Molly the bonus here. I don't like it.
I think Tamba should have got it.
Yeah, I would have too, but I just don't like them giving Molly this bonus for what was a clear setup fight. You're already giving her a fight she's going to win and get her win bonus from and get back in the win column. I will say this: Molly showed up in really good shape, man. She took the weight cut seriously. Definitely. She looked really good in the scale, and this is a better weight class for her. But I still don't think Molly's that great. I don't know. What do you think?
I have to see more as well. At least she
Yeah.
looked good. She looked, man, really good, man.
Well,
Physically, you know what I mean. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, and I mean, listen, not to downgrade anything here, but the broadcast was like, yeah, she recently fought in grappling and she got the submission win. And then I look at what she fought. That girl is 0-4 with 4 submission losses. So I was like,
Oh God.
yeah, I don't know. So, um, but yeah, good win for her, man. Happy for her. She the 2 fight losing skid is gone. She has a win now. Let's see what she can do at 115, man.
Absolutely. And then you had the fight of the night, Charles Johnson, Azat Maxim. I actually love this fight. They
That was
popped some of
great.
my tweets up on the TV. This was an amazing fight, I thought. Tons of great scrambles. The submission defense by both guys was unbelievable. I love this fight. And Charles Johnson, man, like after that first round, which Maxim obviously won. I mean, he came out guns a-blazing. He looked amazing.
Mhm.
I thought he was gonna get that Darce. I got to be honest with you, man. I thought that Darce was locked in, and somehow Energy is able to just get out of it. And then the second round, he started coming on strong. And the third round, it was a close round. And then the very end, Johnson really pulled away at the very end. He got the decision. I thought he won the fight for sure. I
By
thought
the
it
way,
was by far his best performance in the UFC. I thought it was the Jimmy Flick was just good too, but to me, like this is a better win. I thought this was a
mhm.
really good fight. I really like this fight. High level stuff, man. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, I'm happy the UFC didn't get lazy and gave Dolidze Imavov the fight of the night, and they gave this one because this one deserved the fight of the night.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, well, weird moment in the third round, man, with Maxum being in that choke, and Johnson released the choke, and Maxum pretty much fell forward, so it was basically almost out. I feel like,
Bro, I thought he was like out and woke back up or something. I don't that was
yeah,
weird,
a
right?
really really weird moment, and yeah, Johnson took that third round in the last minute, pretty much, because I thought it was pretty even,
It
but
was.
Johnson really took that last round in the last round in the last minute.
Yeah.
Man, good win for him, man. I mean, Maxum
Huge
wasn't
win.
ranked, but Maxum was undefeated, and he looked very good, definitely in the first round, and
Looked amazing.
yeah. Yeah, Johnson, a friend of mine, is pretty high on Charles Johnson, and he's like, dude, this guy, he can do so much more, but he doesn't show it, in the octagon for some reason. And this time he did, and he did it at the right moment because I think if he loses again, he might get cut. Although it was a short notice fight, so maybe not, but you never know. But this is a big win for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this fight. Sorry, guys, I missed a couple of questions. I'm going to answer them. There was a question about Molly. Who would she fight next? They're going to give her someone she can beat. They're trying to build her back up again. I'm assuming she'll be on that Manchester card, right? Would you think so, Molly?
Yeah. If the Manchester card happens in July, then she will be there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking as well. Just I'm not too high on her, but yeah, I don't know who she's going to fight. Someone that's like
What, what
I
do you
don't know.
think?
I'll take a look at the list of UFC fighters.
Elisa Reed?
They could do that fight. Did she win her last fight? I can't remember. Or it doesn't matter with Molly. They're going to give her someone coming off a loss anyways, aren't they? I don't know.
Possible.
I just someone that's not like I mean, Deanna is at the bottom of the rankings, right? So like she's not even ranked. I mean, she's at the bottom of the division is what I meant to say. Um, and I'm not trying to like get too hard on Deanna here. I mean, we all like Deanna here, obviously, but she's going to be released, I think, right? Would you think?
Yeah, it's a big possibility. Yeah.
What about like Vanessa Demopoulos or something? Could you do that fight? She's
Yes,
coming off a
somebody
win.
like that. Yeah.
That's something like that. Yeah. So I think that's a good fight. Yeah, Molly she did look good though on the scale. Did you guys think he was going out the end? Yeah, I did. I thought he did choke him out, and I thought somebody let him go because I thought he was out. And then he stumbled backwards. It was fucking weird, but 10-8 round, the first round, borderline. I don't think so though. I don't think so. 10-8 round is the first round to lead the Imavov, although again only one judge gave it to him. CJ saved his career last time. You get to see more in the UFC, yeah, for sure. McCann versus Andrade. But Andrade is fighting Marina Rodriguez, so probably not. Yeah, exactly. I agree. The Nam fight was kind of like a red flag, I would say. And then people are talking about Johnson just saving his career for sure. All right, Kemba Grimo knocks out Pete Rodriguez 32 seconds. I mean, I don't know how you don't get a bonus for this. This was a great knockout. Obviously, a story and everything. I'm hoping The Rock gives him a bonus or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, you got to like this. We talked about this last week. This was an easy pick too. I don't think Pete Rodriguez is a UFC caliber fighter. Any thoughts on this one, man?
Yeah, good win for Tampa, man. Happy for him. He seems like a really good guy, and he's always very nice when I talk to him. So I'm happy for him. As how do you say that? He has some expectation of himself to be champion this year. I mean, you got to believe in something, So that's good for him. I think gotta be difficult, to get from unranked to be champion this year. But yeah, I like where his head is, and let's see what he can do next time. When he gets a step up in competition.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. All right, let's go to the next fight. Juggernaut Lee defeats Blake Builder by decision. You think Blake Builder gets cut? What do you think?
I think he got a 4-fight contract, so he might get another one. He's 1-2 now. I had to laugh, man, about this corner. Hey, dude, you're from the trailer park. I was like, yeah, so does that mean he's tough? I mean, Builder's a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but Lee was just a step above him, and ahead of him, I should say. I mean, Lee stuffed the takedowns. He pretty much beat him up while stuffing the takedowns. I think Lee looked really good. I underestimated the dude, obviously. And, yeah, good win for him.
Yeah. Luana Carolina, I picked her as a dog here, Marcel. I thought it was an easy pick. I really did. And, she pretty much dominated this fight. Obviously missed weight. It's not a good thing, but dominated this fight. Julia's wrestling was just not very good. Couldn't get a takedown here, Marcel. Gets taken down at will. And, she couldn't get the takedown. And then just the fight stood up on the feet the whole time. And Julia just pretty much, was getting picked apart. And at the end, she went for that last Hail Mary kind of armbar attempt, and then obviously she couldn't get it. Luana stands up. Luana kicks her in the head, punches her, rocks her, and then gets the finish late in the 5th round. I mean, that to me, the only part of it was that she got the finish. I mean, that was surprising, right? But any thoughts about this one, man?
Yeah, horrible fight. Good win for Luana. I think Luana should go to 135. She always struggles to make 125. So, and the funny thing is, like, Stoliarenko struggled to make 135, and now she easily makes 125. It's actually crazy, But yeah, I want to see Luana go to 135. I think it was a good win for her. She was already up 2018 on the scorecard, so she would have won anyways. But yeah, good finish, but horrible fight.
Yeah, and then Markel Medeiros defeats Landon Quinones decision. Close fight. I scored it for Medeiros barely. Close fight. What'd you think?
50-50 fight, man. Could have gone both ways. I think Quinones started really well in the fight. He got the first round. How do you say that? He staggered Medeiros, like I think 1 minute, 1.5 minutes in. Medeiros had a good second round. I think the third round was 50-50, man. Could have gone both ways. The thing is, like, Medeiros was like more going after it, you know what I mean? He was like the attacking guy, and Quinones was more like countering, in my opinion, and that's why I think the judges sway Medeiros' way. I had Medeiros as well, 29-28, but man, I would have been mad if it was 29-28 for Quinones. It was a close fight, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then Jamal Pogues defeats Thomas Peterson. This was a really good pick by me. I clearly thought he won the fight. I thought he won every round. What do you think?
I mean, really good pick. Horrible fight also.
It wasn't a good fight, but I'm glad I got the pick right. I'll tell you that.
Jesus, man. I mean, this was Elevate prelim-esque. This was like really not good. Two guys who are like me, way too overweight, going into the cage. I mean, Pogue should fight 205 in my opinion. And I think Peterson as well, to be honest. I think Pogue fought 205 for a long time, So it's now 265. Wasn't a good fight at all. Pogues had some good things going with his jab. Peterson tried to get the fight to the ground, but nothing really came of it. I think it was kind of weird with the strike scoring, man, in the first round, because Peterson landed a lot of strikes on the ground, ground and pound, and they only gave him like 5 strikes. Really weird,
Yeah, I saw that too. So same with the Dober one. They only gave him 6 strikes for that one round. Like it's kind of. That's what I'm saying. Like, although those are the only stats we have, sometimes they're kind of like they seem odd to me. I don't know. Any more thoughts? Or are you good?
No, that's it. I'm good.
I want to say about that, but yeah, I don't blame you. All right. So, anyways, I agree with Marcel. I think we both gave it like a 7 out of 10. I think that's right. Would you say that, or you're thinking like a 6? The card.
5.56.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So we get some comments. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with what you were saying. Yeah, the Moicano Guru thing was funny, and again, it just helps Guru out. I mean, he's going to get so many more subs now because of being called a pig. So it actually wasn't that bad of a thing for him. But yeah. Anyways, I think we're good for the recap. Marcel, is there anything else you guys want to talk about really quick? I can answer any questions. I mean, actually, Marcus, I don't know if he's in the chat, but we can answer the stock report. Stock up. Stock up. Charles Radke for sure.
Silva.
Silva. I think Radke was a big winner on this card, though, man. I really do. That was a great knockout. Stock down. Dolidze. Stock down. Salikov. Urbina. Belbitsa. Maxim. Builder. There's a lot of people's stock went down. Not a ton of these stock went up, but a lot that went down. Stolyarenko. A lot, Marcel, wouldn't you say? Like, I think there's a couple of guys that like a Landon Quinona. I feel like his stock almost went up because he wasn't supposed to win, and he put on a good fight. You know, a lot of fighter stocks went down. Not too many went up on this card.
Yeah, more went down than up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you agree. Yeah, so there we go. All right, cool. Like I said, a couple other comments. We're gonna do the breakdown right now. We're gonna do it right now. Yeah, and Natalia Silva's a good-looking chick, man. I mean, but Marcel's already taken her, so. And I got my girl. What's my girl's name again? Jacqueline Amarin. That's mine, and this is Marcel's. So there you go. So stay away from those two. I don't know what the fuck Dane is doing. I mean, I still feel like it's going to be Chandler and Connor. I still feel like that in my blood.
I think Drick is against Izzy. I think.
That's what are you hearing anything, or are you just like guessing?
It's kind of a 50-50 thing.
All right. Well, Marcel can't say anything. I mean, that fight does obviously make sense. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that fight if that happens. You know, I don't think anyone's going to complain about that fight. That would be a good one, obviously. I don't mind it at all. You know, I don't think any of you guys mind that fight if that's the one that happens, right? So, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens there. All right, let's end this podcast. And well, this is looking hilarious. Well, I'm in a wheelchair, so you can have her. I mean, I mean, I thought you guys in the wheelchair, so you guys still have some fun, right? Don't you guys? Got it, right? Just joking. But anyways, let's finish this podcast, guys. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. We're gonna start the next one here, UFC Vegas 86 preview. So just give me a minute. I'll set it up. I'll post the link on Twitter and I'll tweet it out. All right, I'll talk to you guys in a sec. Peace.